Just a quick tutorial, the basics of Photoshop. Okay, so on the side you have the tools, and I'll just really quick. You're gonna learn about what all these tools do, but let's just start with some basics. And you hover over the tools. This is a move tool. Basically, you can move things around. Like let's say you have a word or text on your screen. If you want to move it around, you can use this tool. This is for selecting things, but the nice thing is it shows you exactly what that tool is for. Don't worry about knowing all these photos. We'll get to that. This area here is called your canvas or your workspace. Up here, this is called your tool options. Watch a second. These change depending on the tool you have. So, for example, if I click text, you'll notice that now it's text stuff like the font you want. You want bold or regular. Looks like this one's only giving you one choice, but some text, like, let's say I go with, I don't know, let's say I did this one. See, it gives you some options of, well, this one only is bold. Anyway, you're going to get to some text that uses bold or just regular, but let's just get to this text here. I'm choosing impact. Here's where you can choose the size of it. And you can center it, left justify it, right justify it, or choose the color. But I think it's best if I just demonstrate to you. So you go down to the text tool here, and then you just click on the image anywhere. Oftentimes it'll say this lorem ipsum. You just click on it yourself and change it to what you want. So I want this to say Cabbage Patch. Actually, you can see that I need to delete what was there, so I'm just double clicking to select it and hitting the delete key. So if I want that to say Cabbage Patch, I'm going to go all caps, by the way. Okay. And then I'm using the move tool, and I can move this wherever I want it to be. And I'm just going to place it here. Okay. Now, right now it's blue. And I can change the color to anything. For example, I can click this, and I can say, hey, I want to choose it to the yellow that's in this dude's jersey. Okay. Now it's, oops, I clicked the white. Let's try again. Okay, and that's a little lighter. Okay, or I decide I want to go blue. But whatever you choose, that's how you do it. Or you can choose here, but I like to choose something that is in the image, so it has the same color theme. But if you choose to use something else, the only thing I would use is white or black. Some students just grab some random color, they don't even think about it, and it just doesn't work with the image. So either sample a color from within the image or use white or black. Okay, so once you got the color you want, you just say okay. And what's cool is here you can change the font. Like you can go, if you want to change it to Bungee like I had before, marker felt, whatever. You can change the size, so I can go down to smaller size or go up to a bigger size. Excuse me. All right, so we already talked about how that is this is changing the color. You can click on here and it gives you some other options. You can change the font here. You can do some transform stuff. I don't think I'd get into that right now. But there's really nothing you can't do here that you can do in here. So I'm going to close that. By the way, these double arrows always close a panel. Okay. With text, let's do one more thing. So you can also, if the text is selected, like that, you can go up to layer and choose layer style. And one of the things students often like to do is put a little outline around it or a stroke. Okay. And I can choose the color. So my original text was yellow. Or no, wait. It was blue. So I hit this and it happens to make it yellow, but I could click on it and I could make it any color. I could sample like white, for example. Whatever you want your color to be. Now, as you can see, you can change the thickness of the stroke. So if I decide to go from 10 and go to 6, it shows a little less of the stroke. If you want to see it in real time, with your layer style stroke, you can just use a slider and it'll show you what it does. So here I kind of like that. I think in this case 4 is just enough. It has a white outline versus yellow. I just think that looks a little classier. So I'm going to go with that. You can do some other things. I would just say play with these things and just see what they do, because I don't want to spend a whole tutorial going over that. I will tell you probably the most popular one besides stroke is drop shadow. And if I click that, you'll see a little shadow shows up behind there. And when you're on drop shadow, you can change a lot of things. You can change the angle of it, like where it comes from. And I often think about this as like, especially if this is outdoor, I'd look at where the sun comes from and kind of make the shadow fall similar to where the sun would be shining. Okay, but you can change the size of your shadow. If I click it up here, it's bigger. But if you don't want to use drop shadow, just I like it because it makes the image stand out a bit. Okay, so I'm going to stay with it. Okay, after that, so that's just a couple things. I want to make sure you understand what the different panels are. So this is your toolbar here. This is your tool option bar that changes depending on what tool you have. This area here is your canvas. These are your different panels. So right now, like layers is showing. So this is showing all the layers we did. We did the main layer, then we put text on here, and we added effects of stroke and drop shadow. Everything you do will be added to this. By the way, if there's something you don't want to see temporarily, like let's say I don't want to see this text, if I click that eyeball, boom, I don't see it. Okay, sometimes students want to do that. If you ever want to see like what you have done previous to this, you can always click this. It's the history, and this is all the steps that you went through. If you want to go back, you just take it back. If you want to go back to where you were, back. So it's kind of a handy thing. If you ever want to just undo one thing that you did, you just hit Command Z and it'll undo it. This is only a few of the panels. If you want more panels, you go up here to Window, and there's a ton of them. Okay, but I probably wouldn't mess with these until you're ready. All right, I think that's enough for you for today, and so yeah, there you go. Oh, actually no, saving it. So to save it, you go File, Save As, and you want to change it to a JPEG or a PNG, but you notice that you don't have that option here. You only have 4, so you have to do Save a Copy. And then here you go to Photoshop again, and then you can choose like JPEGs, PNGs. Those are probably the 2 most popular. So there's 3 different JPEGs. Let's just go with the standard one. I'll tell you why to choose PNG in another tutorial. Okay, but now it makes it a JPEG, and you can give it a name and you can save it. Here's the thing is though, once you save it to JPEG, you're going to lose all these layers over here, and you won't be able to go back to your image and fix it. So if you know you're completely done, go for a JPEG. But if you're not sure you're done or not, keep it as a PSD or Photoshop document. Give it a name. I'll just call this one Cabbage Patch. And have it go to your folder. So as always, you go to the vault, and let me change this to list. So you go to vault, open up your vault, go to your class, go to whatever class you're in. And so I'm in here, and I'm looking for my Mr. Shula one. Now I've seen it here, but you would see yours in here. I'll just do Squirrel. And then I can save it there, or inside of Squirrel. This says Fall Colors. I can make a new folder. I could call this Photoshop Practice. And create it. And then it makes a new folder in there, and I can save it. I'm going to keep it as a PSD because I might come back and work on this later. Click Save, say OK, and done deal. Okay, that's it. When you're done with Photoshop, you just do File, Quit, and save any changes, sure. And that's about it.